everyone, thank you for joining me today. My name is Travis and we are going to go over some landscape creation in Unreal this afternoon. We're going to start by popping open Unreal. I've done that here. You can go ahead and select whatever game mode is most prevalent to you. I'm going to be using the third person game mode, no starter content. Name it whatever you would like here and go ahead and get that open. I have mine open in this other tab here, so I got that open pretty quick. While yours opens, I just want to say I appreciate you popping in for this video. I hope we can all learn a couple of things as we go along with some landscape creation and material creation for the landscapes here. So inside of Unreal, you have this first person template. I'm going to go and actually open a new level. So if you pop up to File, you go to New Level here. It's going to ask you for what you would like. I'll do, let's see, we'll do Open World. We'll do Basic. Let's go with Basic here. And it's going to go ahead and create just a very basic template for you. It's going to have this guy in here, which you don't truly need, but you can keep it if you'd like. I'm going to leave it for now just for shits and giggles. So we are going to go ahead and first start with our landscape creation here. So under your selection mode up top here to the left, if you do the drop down, you have landscape. If you click that, you have a couple of options that pop up for you. So right now we don't have a material, so we're going to leave that blank. You can go down, there's your location, rotation, scale. You can leave that the regular settings that it is currently. And then you have a couple of different things, which are your section size, sections per component, number of components, and overall resolution. You can play around with that if you'd like to. If you go up, say 255, it's going to make it, quite a bit bigger here. You can always click this little guy over to the right hand side here to revert back to your original also. You can do the sections per component here. If you change it to 2 by 2, it's also going to make it quite a bit bigger. It's going to double your resolution. So I'm going to take that back down and just click create. You can also click fill world, but if you don't have the graphics power, if you don't have the computing power, it's going to take quite a while to do that. It's a big process, a lot of power it takes. So click create here. It's going to take a second, create that for you. You can now go ahead and mess around with sculpting if you would like. There's a set of tools up here. You have the sculpt, which is it's set to originally. If you click, you can see that it sculpts the landscape up just a touch bit here and there. If you click and hold in this section, it can go higher and higher. So you have other things like ramps, which if you click 2 points, it'll go ahead and create a ramp for you. And actually make it like a little pathway hill there. You have erosion, hydro erosion, noise, some things of that nature. You have smooth, which will just flatten things down. You have flatten, which will take whatever spot you're on and flatten everything to that level. And then you have things like your manage, which you can go back and change your brush size, clear your components, add more sections to this. And then you have your paint section up top here, which we're going to be going over in just a minute. But first, we are going to need to create a material for this landscape. So what we are going to do is, I'm going to pop into selection mode just to make it a little bit easier for me. If you right click, you can use WASD to move around here. And if you right click and hold and do that, you can also use E to go up, Q to go down. C kind of zooms in, Z kind of zooms out. So when you release, it'll go back to your original viewport there if you do the zoom in, zoom out at least. But landscape material creation, we're going to go into our content drawer down here, and you can just leave it in the content folder if you'd like. You can create your own folder if you want to manage it a little bit more and organize things a little bit better. But if you right click in here, you get a list of options. Go up to material, click on that for it. You can name it landscape material underscore. You can actually do matte if you'd like, just for short of material there. It's a good naming convention that many people do in Unreal. So do that if you want, and go ahead, double click that to open it. You get this view right here. Oh, let me reopen that. Double click this to open it. You get this viewport right here. You get your landscape material, a couple of options on the left with your details section here, and we're going to be just mainly sticking in this section here. Right now, we don't have any materials or things that we can place as materials, so what we need to do is close this really quick, pop up into this cube up here, Cube Plus, and go to our Quixel Bridge tab. That'll open Quixel Bridge. It's a great little addition that Unreal has for assets, plants, surfaces, materials, things of that nature, textures. What we are going to be working with today are surfaces. Particularly, I like to use grass for materials or for landscape materials here. I oftentimes just select a few different kinds of grass materials, whether it's some dry grasses, some mossy grass, whatever it might be. Go ahead and select a couple of these and download them. We can go through right now. Let's say I want this dried grass. If you click on it, make sure you're signed in. All right, so when you get signed in, you can click on asset here. It'll have this download tab in the right. You can click your quality. Highest would be like nanite quality, which some people like to use. I usually just stick with medium for most of my projects. It turns out pretty nice, and you can mess with it a little bit to make it look nicer too. Click download. That'll download the asset for you, or if it doesn't want to, you can always click the little download tab right on the asset, and that may start it for you. Sometimes they're picky with me. I don't know why, but so go ahead and say this dried grass. Go ahead and download that. It'll get download pretty fast for you. Add it to your project. It'll add it to your open project. So as long as your current landscape project is open, that'll be added to that. Go ahead and select a couple of these. I'm just going to do a couple that maybe I already have. Mossy grass, dried grass. Let's see, mossy wild grass. And then I'm going to do one more darker one. Let's say this guy. Dried wild grass. Download that. Add this to the project. It'll be added real quick. Go ahead and exit out of Quixel Bridge when you have as many as you would like. I'm only doing 4 today, but you can do plenty more if you'd like as well. So when we have those all downloaded and ready, we can go ahead and pop open our landscape material again. I have that open down here. Inside this landscape material, what you want to do first is right click and type in layer coordinate. Let's see, landscape layer blend is the one you want here. And you're going to have this landscape layer blend. You can plug that into your base color if you'd like right away. It's not going to do anything currently, but it'll need to be done at some point, so you can go ahead and do that. What we're going to need to do is add array elements to this to match with the amount of textures that we have for our landscape and our landscape material. I have 4. Like I said, you may have more or less, just depending on what you're doing here. If you add elements, you can go ahead and see that you have an index here. You can name them if you'd like, say grass. All right, so after we have that done, you'll have these little tabs that actually pop up on your landscape layer blend over here, and you have these nodes that you can connect into now. So what we'll want to do is pop open our content drawer, go to our mega scans, which will be where our surfaces are at for this project here. Click into your surfaces, and you'll actually have this texture here that you want to drag out. So this is our mossy grass. I layered one, or I named one of them wrong here. So we have the mossy grass here. We have so it's mossy wild grass, got you. So this will be the top one here, this mossy grass. The mossy wild grass will be the layer of wild grass, and then we have 2 dried ones, which are dried wild grass, which will be at the bottom, and reorganize these a little bit here. Then we have our dried grass, which will be the second one here. So now that we have that all set, you have the 4 nodes plugged in, or however many you may have here, your landscape material will actually be all set to go. So apply that, save that up top. You can go ahead and close out of your landscape material and go ahead. If you click on your landscape and go to your details, you'll have that open over here. It'll have your landscape material. If you just scroll down to the landscape section, landscape material here, you can type in your landscape underscore mat and click that for you. That'll put this material on your landscape here. And if you click back into the landscape tab, you now have these layers available for you. Before you can paint any of these layers, you're going to have to go ahead and add a weight blended layer here. But I would like to say that when you do this, the first one that you do, it will flood your whole entire landscape with. So when you do it, say if I want this wild grass here, let's just say that's a nice one for me. I like that. Create this weight blended layer. It'll create a spot for it. You can just go ahead and save that, and it'll flood your entire, if you look at that, you can see that it flooded my entire landscape with this grass here. So definitely have a lot of repeating on this texture, which, you know, isn't too much of a problem. You can go ahead and play with that too. But we're going to have to go ahead and do the weight blended layer for the rest of these two. So go ahead and do that. Take a second. When you have that all finished, you can actually do some painting if you'd like to. You can do more sculpting if you'd like, whatever really tickles your fancy. But you have those all done, your weight blended layers created. When you go and actually click on them, then you can go say grass, I want this grass here instead, or say if I want this dried grass, boom, bang. You can get those actually started to paint on your material. You have your things like your tool strength up top. Your brush size here will actually, you know, change your brush size here. So now it's very small instead of very large. If I have a tool strength that is lower, it's not going to show up as much here. You can barely even see it going in right now. And if you turn it up all the way, obviously it will completely replace whatever you currently have there. So one last thing I want to show you, because I do have some texturing with this wild grass texture here, some layer repeating with this texture here. If you go into your content drawer, your landscape material here again, and then you do coordinate, texture coordinate, this guy right here, and you plug that into the UVs, you can actually go ahead and do some things with the tiling on this coordinate. I plugged it into the wrong one, so let's get that to the right one. So I want it on this wild grass, the third one down here. You can do this with any of them, but it's just the one that is most noticeable to me right now. So if I plug this into the UVs and I want to say take this tiling down a little bit, you can say change it to 0.5 maybe, and see how that looks when you go back to your material here. As you can see, it looks a little bit nicer, but it's still not great. I can drop this down a lot to 0.1 maybe and see how that looks. If you apply that, you can go ahead and see how much different that looks now. You can go up with it too. It'll make it look more tiled, just depending on, I guess, what you're looking for. But go ahead and play with that, and I hope this video was very helpful. If you like it, please subscribe. I'm going to try and do at least one of these videos every week to give you guys some more info and knowledge about Unreal, and just share the knowledge that I have, and hopefully learn from you guys also, though. So thank you, and have a great day.